Hello, I am Jack, welcome to the channel. This is my micro camper. Something a little bit different to what I normally do today. I want to talk about my top 5 tips, things, I don't really know what to call them, for your camper van. Micro camper, big Winnebago, whatever you've got. These are 5 things that I personally think you should know about or have if you have a camper van. So to start off, something really simple. Number 5 on the list is a comfy bed / comfy seating area. If you're using your van purely in the summer, you may not need to sit in your van for a long time. You may be out and about. But if you're using your van year round, there will be days, I can guarantee, especially if you're from the UK, there will be days you will be sat in your van for a long time. I've done it myself. When I was up in Scotland for a week, I had a day of torrential rain and all I pretty much did the whole day was sit in the van. If my sofa bed wasn't comfy, it would have been horrible. When I'm 600 miles away from home, there's not really a lot you can do, to be honest, if you are uncomfy. Yeah, it's a bit of a different one, but comfy place to sleep and relax 100% makes your van way better. To be honest with you, my bed is just about on the cusp. After 10 days in Scotland, it was getting a little bit uncomfortable. Now, with my van being a Caddy Maxi, it is a small van. As you can see, there's not a lot of headroom when I'm sitting, so I had to go for quite thin foam compared to what you would have if you had more headroom. Unless you're strapped for space like this, definitely go as comfortable as you can. I think when I take this van away for a long period of time, more than a weekend, I'm going to take myself a little mattress topper just so I'll get that extra bit of comfort while I'm trying to sleep. So, moving on to number 4. I personally think this is quite an important one. It's something I try to do as much as possible when I'm out in the van, specifically when I'm doing a stealth camp, and it's turn up late. I don't necessarily mean turn up late to wherever you want to be, but if I found somewhere I want to stay and it's not a site or a Brit stop, I'll come on to them later, then I tend to stay away from that park up until I actually want to get there and get ready to sleep for the night, basically. You don't really want to be turning up 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon to a park up, somewhere you're planning to stay, and then going off and enjoying yourself, going on a walk, whatever you fancy doing, or even sitting in the van for a few hours, lights on, cooking food maybe, making a bit of noise and drawing attention to yourself. Now, that's not me saying you're going to have problems doing that, but personally for me, it makes me feel so much more comfortable when I can park somewhere else, go and do what I want to do for the day, and then when it's time for me to settle down, I pull up to my car park, jump in the back, close the blinds, close my curtains, and cook some food, relax, watch a film, do whatever I want to do, and then go to sleep knowing that I haven't drawn loads of attention to myself that I didn't really need. And it just makes me, personally, a little bit more comfortable. Now, number 3 brings me on to the Brit stops and the other apps that you can use if you don't already know about them. I'm sure most people will, but if not, I'm going to go over them quickly. I personally use Search for Sites and Park for Night as apps. They're really good. You can download them on Apple, so iOS. I'm guessing you can download it on the Android store as well. Yeah, they're really useful. Search for Sites, I think you pay $5.99 per year to have access to hundreds of park-ups. In fact, thousands of park-ups across the UK, and I think it even goes broader than that. Park for Night is free. I've found there's not quite as much on Park for Night. It's a good community because there's loads of other van life people posting their experiences there and putting comments, so you get honest reviews from people that are doing the same things as you. Now, something that I've started using very recently, Brit stops. Now, you do have to pay for this. I think it's about £35 a year. I'll leave the official link down below. I used a Brit stop a few weeks ago and it was probably one of the best park ups I've ever had. I've got to go into a pub, have a few beers and come back to the van and sleep. Perfect. I think a lot more people know about Search for Sites and Park for Night than Brit stops. If you don't know about Brit stops, 100% check them out. Some really nice park ups, and I've done a few before when I was with my parents in their van. Really cool, some really nice places, and quite often you'll go into the pub, have some food or some drinks and speak to locals and get to know a bit more about the area that you're stopping in. So number 3 is park up apps and Brit stops. Number 2, a lot of people don't seem to do this, and I think it's wild personally. Loads of people I know don't have one of these in their van, and it is some sort of toilet facility, whether that be proper porcelain toilet if you've got space for one in your van, a little cassette toilet like I've got under my bed, or even a bucket and a bin bag. That's all you need, and some toilet roll. But I know a lot of people that don't even have a bin bag in their van, and I quite like going away on a Friday night, cooking a curry in my van, and I have woke up early hours of the Saturday morning and really needed somewhere to go. My experience in November in Scotland was that a lot of public toilets were closed. So you may think you're a couple of minutes drive away from a public toilet and then get there and it's shut. So for me, having a toilet in my van was pretty much the #1 priority. And believe it or not, the whole van was built off a toilet. We put the toilet in and then built the height of everything else, the size of everything else around having a toilet. For me, like I say, it's there for emergency use. If I can use a public toilet, I will. Obviously being a male, it's a lot easier to go into the woods for a #1. And in fact, that's the other thing. A lot of people will say, oh, you can just go into the woods and dig a hole. But there's a lot of people out there that won't appreciate you doing that. And that's going to give us people that camp in our vans a bad name at the end of the day. So yeah, toilet is right up there in my list of things that you need in your van. Big tip. Mine has got me out of so many dilemmas in the past. Let me tell you that for free. Yeah, toilet is definitely a must. And finally, #1 on the list is just enjoy yourself. Go out there. You're either thinking about buying or converting a van. And from what I can say in my experience, the last year of owning this van is just do it. It is honestly the best thing I've ever done in my life. I've been able to explore so many places that I wouldn't have if I didn't have this van. I've stayed in some really weird places. I've stayed in some beautiful places, and I've had some great trips away. And it's just the beginning. If you are thinking about buying a van to convert, 100% go for it. I've started off small van, comfortably sleeps 1, 2 at a squeeze, but it's all you need to get going. To be honest with you, all you need is a vehicle that you can sleep in the back of. I'm gonna stealth camp in my mum's Volkswagen up very soon, well, when it gets a bit warmer. But honestly, just get out there and go for it. If I'm honest with you, before I converted my van, I was a little bit dubious of whether I would enjoy it as much as I have done. And it is a big leap to take, to be honest, buying a van, putting the money into converting it. And that first weekend I went out, I thought, am I going to enjoy this? And if I didn't enjoy it, I then would have had a converted van on my hands and not really wanted to use it. Fortunately, I absolutely love it. Like I say, it's the best thing I've ever done in my life. I've used it almost every weekend since having it, and I can't wait for the summer. It's now end of January, spring's on its way, summer's on its way, and I can't wait for a load more cool camp outs in this van. To be honest with you, last year was more so just finding my feet with it, getting used to being out on my own and exploring, sleeping in a van on my own, cooking in a van on my own. Some of the best weekends I've ever had in my life have been out in a van, whether that's on my own just exploring somewhere, or at one of the shows meeting loads of people. I've met so many nice, friendly, helpful people through the van community. So yeah, #1 tip for you, go out there, do it and enjoy it, because you will. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please let me know. Drop a like or a comment. Ask me some more van based questions or travel based questions if you can think of any down in the comments. Please consider hitting that subscribe button, it helps me out massively. If you already have a van, I hope you enjoy this year's trips. If you don't and you're considering it, like I say, that #1 tip, go out there and do it and you won't look back. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, look after yourselves, guys.